Imagine you're walking through life, navigating relationships, friendships, and interactions with others. Most people you meet seem kind, caring, and well-meaning. But every so often, you encounter someone who seems different, someone whose actions, words, and demeanor feel off. These individuals can bring chaos, manipulation, and harm into your life, often under the guise of friendship or even love. But how can you identify these people before they cause damage? How can you protect yourself from their influence? The Stoics, ancient philosophers who lived over 2,000 years ago, believed that certain individuals possess traits that are not just harmful, but downright evil. They spent their lives contemplating virtue, justice, and the nature of good and evil, and their teachings offer us powerful insights into recognizing these dangerous people. In this video, we'll explore the 5 clear signs of an evil person, as explained through the lens of Stoic philosophy. These signs are not just theoretical, they're practical tools you can use in your everyday life to safeguard your well-being and maintain your peace of mind. 1. Manipulation and deception. The first sign of an evil person, according to the Stoics, is their tendency to manipulate and deceive others. These individuals are skilled at bending the truth, twisting narratives, and using others for their own gain. Manipulation is their primary tool, whether they do it through subtle psychological games, outright lies, or by playing on the emotions of those around them. The Stoics taught that truth is a fundamental pillar of virtue. To live a good life, one must be honest, both with oneself and with others. An evil person, however, disregards this principle entirely. They see truth as malleable, something to be shaped to fit their desires and ambitions. Their lies are often layered, complex, and difficult to untangle, which makes it all the more challenging to see through their deception. Consider the story of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. Despite his immense power, he was known for his humility, honesty, and commitment to truth. He often warned against the dangers of flattery and deceit, urging people to be wary of those who manipulate others for personal gain. In his meditations, Marcus wrote about the importance of keeping oneself free from deceit and ensuring that one's actions are aligned with virtue. But how do you spot manipulation? It's often subtle, an offhand comment that undermines your confidence, a friendly gesture that comes with hidden strings, or a story that just doesn't quite add up. The key is to trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Pay attention to inconsistencies in their words and actions, and don't be afraid to question their motives. Remember, an evil person will often try to make you doubt your own perceptions. They may gaslight you, making you question your reality. The Stoics remind us to hold firm to our own sense of truth and not be swayed by the manipulative tactics of others. 2. Lack of empathy and compassion. The second sign of an evil person is their lack of empathy and compassion. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, while compassion is the desire to help alleviate their suffering. An evil person, however, is often indifferent to the pain of others. They may even take pleasure in it, using others' suffering as a means to further their own goals. According to Stoic philosophy, one of the most important virtues is sympathia, the recognition that all human beings are connected and that our actions impact one another. The Stoics believed that we are all part of a greater whole and that we should act with kindness and consideration toward others. An evil person, however, sees others as tools to be used rather than as fellow human beings deserving of respect and care. They lack the ability or the willingness to see the world from another's perspective, and they often view others' suffering as inconsequential or even deserved. One example of this is the story of Nero, the Roman emperor known for his cruelty and lack of empathy. Nero was infamous for his brutal persecution of Christians and for his role in the Great Fire of Rome. Despite the immense suffering he caused, Nero showed no remorse. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, who served as Nero's tutor, were appalled by his lack of compassion and his disregard for human life. How can you identify a lack of empathy in someone? It often reveals itself in small ways. Perhaps they make insensitive jokes about serious matters, dismiss the feelings of others, or show little concern for the impact of their actions. Over time, this lack of empathy becomes more apparent, especially in situations where compassion would be the natural response. When dealing with someone who lacks empathy, the Stoics advise caution. Recognize that you cannot change their nature and take steps to protect yourself from their influence. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you rather than those who drain your emotional energy. 3. Consistent, harmful actions. The third sign of an evil person is their consistent pattern of harmful actions. The Stoics believed that true evil is revealed not just in a single act, but in a repeated pattern of behavior that causes harm to others. These individuals may hurt people physically, emotionally, or psychologically, often without any sense of guilt or responsibility. According to Stoic philosophy, virtue is a habit, a consistent pattern of right action. Conversely, vice or evil is also a habit, a pattern of wrongdoing that becomes ingrained in a person's character. An evil person may repeatedly engage in behaviors that harm others, whether it's through aggression, betrayal, exploitation, or other destructive actions. One historical example is Caligula, another Roman emperor known for his cruelty and madness. Caligula's reign was marked by a series of brutal and erratic decisions that brought suffering to countless people. His actions were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of tyranny and abuse of power. The Stoics would argue that the key to identifying an evil person is to look for this pattern of behavior. Do they consistently hurt others, either directly or indirectly? Do they seem to take pleasure in the suffering they cause? Are they unwilling to take responsibility for their actions or to make amends? These are clear signs of a dangerous individual. The Stoics also teach us the importance of distance, both physical and emotional, from those who repeatedly harm others. Recognize that their behavior is a reflection of their character, not yours, and do not allow their actions to poison your own life. 4. Absence of accountability. The fourth sign of an evil person is their complete lack of accountability. The Stoics placed a high value on taking responsibility for one's actions and decisions. They believed that to live a virtuous life, one must be willing to acknowledge mistakes, learn from them, and make amends. An evil person, however, refuses to accept responsibility for their actions. Instead, they blame others, make excuses, or deny their wrongdoing altogether. This absence of accountability is often coupled with a sense of entitlement. An evil person may believe that they are above the rules that apply to everyone else, and they may show no remorse for the harm they cause. This lack of accountability allows them to continue their harmful behaviors without ever facing the consequences. The Stoics believed that personal responsibility is a key component of moral character. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught that we must focus on what is within our control, our own actions, thoughts, and responses. He emphasized that blaming others or external circumstances for our mistakes is a sign of weakness and a refusal to grow. In contrast, an evil person never admits fault. They might turn the tables, making you feel guilty for things that were clearly their fault. They might rewrite history, denying events that you know happened. This lack of accountability can be incredibly frustrating and damaging, especially if you're caught in a relationship or situation where you're repeatedly made to feel responsible for their actions. Stoicism teaches us to hold ourselves to a higher standard, to take ownership of our actions, and to learn from our mistakes. When you encounter someone who refuses to do the same, it's a red flag. Recognize their behavior for what it is, a refusal to engage with life in a meaningful, responsible way, and take steps to distance yourself from their toxic influence. 5. Delighting in the misfortune of others. The fifth and perhaps most chilling sign of an evil person is their delight in the misfortune of others. The Stoics believed that a virtuous person finds joy in the success and well-being of others, while an evil person finds satisfaction in their suffering. This Schadenfreude, the pleasure derived from another person's pain, is a clear indicator of a corrupt and dangerous character. For the Stoics, the purpose of life is to live in harmony with nature and to contribute positively to the well-being of others. They believed that we are all interconnected and that our actions should be guided by a sense of shared humanity and compassion. An evil person, however, is disconnected from this sense of shared humanity. Instead of feeling empathy or concern for others, they feel pleasure when others fail or suffer. This delight in the misfortune of others can manifest in many ways. It might be as subtle as a smirk when someone else experiences a setback, or as blatant as outright gloating over someone's pain. These individuals might even go out of their way to create situations that lead to others' suffering, all for their own amusement or gain. One historical example that the Stoics would point to is the Roman Emperor Domitian, known for his cruel and vindictive nature. Domitian delighted in the suffering of his enemies and was notorious for his harsh punishments and persecution of those he perceived as threats. The Stoics, including the philosopher Epictetus, warned against this kind of cruelty and emphasized the importance of maintaining a compassionate and just attitude, even towards those who may have wronged us. If you encounter someone who seems to take pleasure in the suffering of others, it's a clear sign that they are not someone you should trust or respect. The Stoics would advise you to distance yourself from such individuals and to focus on cultivating relationships with those who share your values of compassion, empathy, and mutual respect. In conclusion, recognizing these 5 signs of an evil person: manipulation and deception, lack of empathy and compassion, consistent harmful actions, absence of accountability, and delighting in the misfortune of others, can help you protect yourself from those who seek to do harm. The Stoics believed that by understanding these traits, we can navigate our relationships with greater wisdom and clarity, avoiding the pitfalls of engaging with dangerous individuals. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we respond to them. By being vigilant and discerning, we can maintain our own peace of mind and live in accordance with our values, even in the face of adversity. Remember, the Stoics also teach us that not everyone who displays these traits is beyond redemption. People can change, grow, and learn. But this change must come from within, and it's not your responsibility to fix or save them. Your primary responsibility is to yourself, to live a life of virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. So, the next time you encounter someone who exhibits these signs, take a step back, reflect on what you've learned here, and choose your response wisely. The Stoic path is one of clarity, strength, and self-mastery, and by following it, you can navigate the complexities of human relationships with grace and wisdom. If you found value in this exploration of Stoic philosophy and how it can help you identify and protect yourself from harmful individuals, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into Stoicism and practical philosophy. Let us know in the comments if you've encountered any of these signs in people around you and how you dealt with it. Your experiences could help others on their own Stoic journey. Thank you for watching, and remember, The Stoic path is one of resilience, wisdom, and inner strength. Stay strong, stay vigilant, and stay true to your values.